they will. They could.
I mean, I would ask Singularity to do it, but
they're very much, they seem to be contracted by the Hapgoods, apparently.
well, yeah, apparently. I don't know, like, where's Nymera? Is he drafting for them? Because he isn't here today. So this is the conspiracy, because we've got Initialize on the desk, who's a play-by-play.
Yeah.
So Nymera clearly had places
By the way,
to be.
just for a second, I want to actually give some props to Initialize. He's doing really well.
He's doing
on
really
the desk.
well.
But
we don't don't build him up too much.
No, we can't give him too much.
He's shorter than I thought he would be. There we go. He's gonna like build him up, break him down.
Okay, sure.
But he's doing exceptionally well. And to bring it back onto topic for a moment, at least, JDXL doing pretty well so far in NLC. Obviously, Singularity not playing for anything other than pride and to ruin someone's day, where there is value in that, because JDXL can no longer beat X7 at the top of the table.
No.
But seeding matters.
Seeding does matter. When you look, of course, at the playoff bracket, top 1, top 2, you get that immediate you get that extra life, right? You win that series against your opponent, you go directly into finals. JDXL, I hear your whimper, your
well,
cry
they just walked into try, and I thought maybe they're going to look for something cheeky, but they were actually just looking to catch anyone who's walking into lane a couple of seconds late. Singularity were not doing that.
No.
So it was okay.
But yeah, you know, still important for JDXL to ensure that they're picking up wins, just so they can finish in that second seed spot. So against a team like SNG, you don't expect them really to falter. But I mean, we've seen, you know, a couple of upsets, especially LEC of the weekend. Did of course happen, where, you know, one team could have made its playoffs. I believe it was SK and Astralis took them down. And Astralis well out of the playoffs race already, but said, if I'm going down, you're coming with me. Tatui getting the worst end of the trade, and now he's on the wrong side of the lane.
Yeah, that's not the direction you're meant to run from Cries, but it looks like Cries is actually more interested in farming, so they've just swapped sides, and now we can actually see the trade. But Camille, of course, has a couple of options to get away, and Cries on the gangplank very, very early doors isn't super looking to all in, you've got to imagine, especially with Camille having Ignite and having those cooldowns available.
Yep.
So he's just going to back off to the right side of the lane.
Yeah, there you go. Got there in the end. This is a lane which you can kind of see, especially in the earliest stages. Cries can take complete control. Camille doesn't really have too many answers into Gangplank's laning phases. It doesn't really look like it's going to have too much of an answer into this invade either. Red buff should be secured by Dan. Dan's Port just going to walk away with his Krugs. Does have potential help from Hepe, but I think they recognize it's just 3-3 that they would likely lose. Evelyn in the earlier stages, not exactly the strongest champion in the world, and of course Volibear, a premier early game jungler, though still kind of falling to the wayside to the likes of Lee Sin, Jarvan, and Zinzal. Traditionally, at the moment, he definitely does come in as a close second in terms of contending their early game prowess.
Absolutely, and is able to get in, start fights, and if you're an Evelyn, you're a little bit squishy early game. You don't necessarily have the ability to escape because you can't even go invisible.
No. So
if you meet the bear in your jungle and you haven't got significant help, you probably just die.
Yeah, of course. And for confirmation,
by
the way, Dragane does have that lethal tempo, does have his Thorin's Blade, so this is going to be ADRE. Just so...
The desk has too much power. I'm going to say this now.
Yeah.
I don't know what they built that from. I'll go have a look after the game.
Yeah.
Because my cable is not that long.
No.
But they've got like secret telephones or earpieces. Where do their earpieces go? Are they talking to Singularity's management when they're on there?
Maybe they can communicate somehow, like at the same time. They may have some kind of word code that they use whilst they talk. Like every second word is a word I'm communicating to you, SNG, or something like that. You know. Dan trying to sneak into the bomb side here, and this wave is in a pretty poor position for SNG to really have much of an answer into it, but they do have vision. So they have full information that Dan is there. Wait for him to reset. Dan's actually going to cancel it last second.
The water's still there though. So
yeah, exactly. So this is, you know, a bit of cat and mouse, right? At the end of the day, Dan's doing his job perfectly. He's still making Spike and Hepe miss out on a fair amount of, well, the wave in XP.
Oh, but engage immediately onto Kikis, who's going to try and Abyssal Void Awake and do just that. And Zamlet going to be rooted up now, and Singularity's bot lane putting the damage down. Won't be able to secure a kill. But have completely decimated the health bars from JDXL.
JDXL, they lose out on the heal, they lose out on their health to try and, well, I say try and do something. It was actually SNG that going for the engage. So pretty much a net positive for SNG. They will come back up a little bit sooner than that heal will as well. So maybe they can find some kind of window. I think especially Port. I think when you're on Evelyn, you did lose your red buff, right? But you're still trying to aim for that level 6 mark at around sort of 7.5 minutes.
They're sneaking.
They are sneaking. They've got the Gravitum as well. They've got a lot of setup to make this work. And Zamalek doesn't have Cleanse, and that's the Abyssal Voyage used.
Jeffe's going to go immediately in. Zamalek goes down. First blood taken up by SBK. And now Kick is running, but it's just into Porp's embrace. Going to be massive trouble for the Catfish.
Oh, no.
Fails the flash. And just like that, Porp takes the kill. And you know what, Evelyn? I'm as shocked as you are.
It's just the emote makes that kill, doesn't it? It's not even the failed flash. It's just the shocked face emote.
Oh, no.
As a kill will go over to the Evelyn, and that's not what you want to see on the JDXL side, right? You lose out on the 2v2 on the bottom side, and then not only that, Porp, who's not even really necessarily invested in the play, just so happens to be there, and picks up the second one as, yeah, the Abyssal Voyage comes down. They're just trying to clear the wave, an immediate flash forward from Hepe. Surprise, surprise, it's me out of the bush as the Norless, and yeah, Kikis walks into the waiting line.
Kikis.
Oh, the production have slowed it down as well. It's just unnecessary violence from the production team.
They woke up today and chose violence
Yeah.
with our production team. Not just our producer, but, you know, observers too. There's a lot of love in there, but hey, maybe Nightmare is the greatest draft coach in the league.
Yeah. You know, it's no... Is it really a coincidence that Nightmare is missing today?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
all of a sudden, it's ADR. You know, because I was watching the NLC this weekend, and I did scratch my head when he mentioned the ADR. And I think it was in conversation with, it was either Caps or Cap.
We should say, officially, that was Arcrom's idea, not Nightmare's. We have to go on record and say that we respect Arcrom as a RE savant.
Yeah, that's true.
Nightmare has actually never played the champion. You sound interested about the game, though.
Yes, because Porp just hit level 6 at that 7.5 minute mark, which I was kind of calling out earlier. So, I mean, I was about 6 seconds off, but, you know, I'm a perfectionist with some of these kind of things. So now this is when I expect Porp to try and sneak into a lane and try and find some execute somewhere. This Gangplank lane can definitely be a strong contender, but Dan is going to be making his move up here first.
Got the cable shop available, though. So Tattoo actually going to hit down with the ultimatum first to hold himself in place and will be able to dive back.
Sure.
There's a lot of damage in the bot side, though. Okay, Dan gets the kill top side. It looks like Spike's looking for something. Kickers is caught in the alcove, goes low, but channels away, has a little bit of grey health to get some healing. There goes Dragane in the bush, caught out by Red Ward.
Oh, MNS is on.
MNS hasn't been caught. He has been caught out by the ward, but he hasn't gone to stop it. There's the ultimate coming through from the top side. Gangplank helping out. There's the kill, secured by Zamalek in the end. And JDXL made a couple of good plays across the map. Porp moving through sneakily. It'll be 2v1, puts down the charm, is looking to seduce Silas, who flashes away. Zamalek stops the recall to get a slow as well. So it was touch and go for a moment, but everyone from XL do get out alive.
Yeah, interesting there from Porp. I feel like maybe it's hard to tell because sometimes you have God view, but I feel like he would have seen Zamalek on the top of his screen. You feel like the safer call is just to execute Zamalek, get your free gold. I'm not sure if, I mean, I feel like the replay already being here is actually on the bottom side. So if we do get a replay of that, again, I'd like to see if he actually had vision of Port, but yeah, it's just a 2v2 that, unfortunately, JDXL went out, the Ignite burns down on Tepe, but you can see so many Chakrams stacked up for Spike there. And yeah, no Gravita means that there's no route down onto Kicker, so he's able to Abyssal Voyage out. And MNS has already stolen away Dragane's ultimate, so it gives him a lot of extra mobility. Not that Silas really needs it, to be honest. Ultimate comes down from the Gangplank, and it just secures that kill. Nice play from XL.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great play for them to get themselves heading kills for the first time this game, grab themselves a cheeky gold lead.
Yeah, magically ballooned 1.5k. I'm not sure where that's materialized from.
A couple of kills, some farm. If you look at how farm's looking across the board, Zamalek has a confident one. Top lane, of course.
Mid lane as well. Yeah.
So just all the lanes, really, is what we're saying.
Yeah, the solo lanes. Zamalek's only up 200, so it's just the solo lanes. Gangplank as well. Occasionally farming with his Q in the laning phase is going to stack up all of the extra parlay gold. Tattoo does have the Sheen, so you know you can trade back, but it's like 250 damage per Sheen proc from Cries. Like, it just feels so unplayable at this moment in time. Tattoo, I feel like is going to need some help from his jungler or Dragane if he can find his way up there to try and shut down the Gangplank and try and get yourself going on the side lane. That's of course what you want on the Camille. It's a very difficult laning phase. You don't necessarily pick the Camille into the Gangplank for you know, set up in the early stages unless it is a topside heavy draft. In this case, it's not necessarily. Now, Porp has slipped his way into the bottom side here, and I think Hepe's positioning might be giving this one away. You can see a lot of pings coming down from JDXL.
Well, both sides looking for the engage. Eminez actually moving on through. We have 4v3 for JDXL as Zamlek goes on the side, doesn't manage to get Porp, but the rest of the team is melting through. The Evelyn couldn't escape, and that's another 2 for the Silas, 1 for the Varus, none for Singularity.
Yeah, I think that was just a really good read from JDXL. I think Hepe's positioning might have been a little bit too suspect, and you just immediately saw the ping start to come down, and game sense kicks in. Dan at some point picked up the Herald. I'm not sure if I'm blind and I just didn't see it, or I just don't recall. Maybe it happened in a replay.
Let's hope, because I didn't see it either.
There you go. Conscious decision, though, as I'll have to actually hold this point.
He's actually caught up in the ultimatum, throws down the ultimate, and Camille is in a lot of trouble, gets taken down, but Dragane is here, and with a low mana bar, a low health bar, and nowhere to run, Gangplank will also fall to the AD. 1 apiece in the top side. Eminez needs to be careful, but Dan is here. Drops down the Rift Herald. It's just Yepe defending this mid tower, so it probably won't go down if they can move members towards it, but currently, Evelyn's the only one in the neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly, and there you go, charge. I'm not quite going to get that third plate. Wait, there you go. Wave goes. Or the Herald, actually, I think, got a last attack in now. There's loads of pings coming down. They want to defend their red buff SNG. I feel like they might actually be able to... It's going to be a 50-50, but I feel like Porp wins these. Let's see, though. Go pretty close. Left that smite quite late. But XL, they're not going to be able to pick up any more jungle camps outside of that plate. Or inside of that play, rather. And they will just walk away from this one. Sitting pretty comfortably in the gold lead at the moment. I think achieving everything that they'd want to in the early game so far. SNG, it just feels like they haven't been able to find a coherent sort of streak of play just yet. Porp still waiting for that kind of, you know, level of access to a lane that you would expect out of an Evelyn post level 6. Hasn't been able to find an execute onto anybody yet. I feel like the setup's there in most lanes. You just got to, you know, sort of throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks.
Well, this is the thing, because we were talking about, well, we weren't. Initialize was talking about how Evelyn has these really great paths that they can come into gang. But look at this now. JDXL have completely hemmed in the gank paths. The engager's actually to come through from Yepe as Zamlek puts down the damage, but Dan is here. It'll be a 3v3. And members of Singularity have gone so low. Spike already going to be clawed to pieces. It's going to be Zamlek securing that one as the re-engage comes off through, but it's only going to go to Dan, who ults away to get the help. Port moving forward, looks for the execute, can't find it, and is now in a heap of trouble. Burns down as JDXL are going to maraud forward, looking towards another kill. Eminez has the ultimate from Ari and has the AP to use it. And it looks like Yepe only going to stall with that stopwatch does get deleted, and the draft, I'm sorry, Nymera, it seems to be coming apart at the seams.
Is this a 1-0 against the Hapgood brothers?
Maybe Nymera, well, what we need to do is we need to see, we need to get confirmation on that.
Right.
We can swap them over to see if Initialize is actually the one that needs to be drafting. Maybe they got the wrong Hapgood. They were like, we hit Hapgood. Oh, actually, Dragane is in a lot of trouble. Eminez is there. We'll be able to dash over the wall and has support from the Aphelios, but that was an interesting chain. It will secure the kill for the Silas. Spike will return.
It's a nice shutdown.
Exchange picks up the shutdown. That's good for Singularity, but again, it's just making these plays that don't make a lot of sense in the top side. Porp might be looking for one that makes a little bit more. It'll be a 2v1, and Cries is really overextended, throws down the ultimate, but it's caught out by the Evelyn as well, and in the ultimatum, there's nowhere to run. That's what Singularity need to be doing.
Yeah, they needed to be doing this about 6.5 minutes ago.
Right.
So we're a little bit late on that one, because now XL almost have a 6,500 gold lead.
Last game you said 1.5 minutes late was one of the major issues.
Yeah.
6 minutes late seems significantly worse.
You can do basic arithmetic.
I honestly am surprised.
Yeah, so they finally do punish Cries for what has been definitely aggressive laning, but that is kind of how you play this Gangplank lane. Assuming it's in isolation, which, considering a lot of the focus that we've seen on the bottom side of the map towards the mid lane a little bit, yeah, it's about time he's been punished. But unfortunately, Porp hasn't really been able to find anything else outside of that. Was gifted a kill in the early stages. Evelyn hasn't been able to get rolling, and that's kind of what you want, especially like in a competitive setting, right? Of course, we see Evelyn in solo queue, she tears up games just because it's a very unorganized sort of format for an Evelyn to kind of be roaming around and freely picking up these kills. It's not always like that in competitive, but so far I feel like Porp just hasn't been able to find his mark on this Eve. Now looking for a play onto the bottom side of NLS, but
he's half health.
Yeah, one, he's full health. Two, he's actually rushed the Zhonya's, which I think is a pretty intelligent call here. Looking for the setup now.
Yeah, base here as well. It'll be a 3v1. Cyrus will be able to dash away, but caught up with the charm nonetheless. Gets the ultimate, gets away for a moment, but won't be caught up by the Nautilus. JDXL's mid laner has the whole game on strings. Goes for the stopwatch out of the ultimate. Eminence, no. Please. They've had enough.
That's why he's rushed on this. It's as simple as that. Going to be able to walk away with his life. And SMG, they will pick up this dragon, and it is technically their second dragon, but...
it's not technically, it is their second dragon.
No, but technically, they're not going to be able to get a third, I imagine. JDXL are probably going to contest that one. They've proactively made the choice to go and secure the Herald. Whilst they do lose out on this bottom side tower, I don't think they're too pressed about it. It seems like Kryze is pushing on the top side. He is fast tracking to level 13. Already level 12 at 16 minutes. And of course, level 13, that is when the barrels tick down the fastest for Gangplank. And that is when you typically have access to, the easier to hit barrels in team fights. Usually it's very, very easy to react to Gangplank barrels before that, especially in these sort of 5v5 situations. And I think, given the audio cue I just heard in my ear, that Gangplank just picked up the true damage portion of his ultimate.
Okay.
So already 500 Silver Serpents at 16 minutes, given how aggressively he was laning, also shows to me that Kryze
you look at the gold, you look at the farm
farming
difference, don't you? Like that tells a story in and of itself. And again, he has died twice, so Singularity have been making him pay not handsomely for this kind of play. We're actually going to hold the point because King is caught out with the charm, has to flash away, has the grey health running, but it looks like Singularity are not going to give up without a fight until the Gangplank ultimate comes on through with the true damage in the middle, as you mentioned. Good audio cue knowledge. As Dan moving forward, trying to grab this red buff, but he's all on his lonesome. The rest of JDXL not super interested in helping him, and now he's going to have to find a way out. Running for dear life, has to hold over the wall to avoid the charm as well, and does manage to survive. So doesn't get the buff, but gets out. That's Singularity still holding on in these kind of situations, but when you need 4 or 5 members to take down 1 or 2, things are a little bit dicey.
Yeah, it's not the best position to be in, and I was about to talk about the others, but instead I guess I'll talk about Bifrost Riddle. I think it is definitely our premier game of today, and I think it has, realistically, the most stakes for both these teams. If Riddle are able to take down Bifrost later on today, or after this match, I shouldn't say later on today, if Riddle are able to take down Bifrost, it's not a confirmation.
They put themselves in such
But it is in such a strong position to secure playoffs that it feels almost wrong to talk about them not making playoffs at that point. For Bifrost, again, it's about that race for second place at the moment. As X7, it seems like, should be clear. Obviously, anything can happen. It's League of Legends.
Good to know you know what game we're casting.
Thank you.
Positive.
I've been working really hard on it.
It's like, as it is. But it looks like Dragane is in a lot of trouble here, just going to be caught up. And again, the mid lane, wrong place, wrong time. And that's kind of been the story of Singularity this game. They had that really great early string of play. And by that, I mean exactly one play bot and an effective gank top about 10 minutes later. But they've managed to lose their inner tower on the bot side. Eminez moving forward. I don't think there'll be a charge because Porp is in the wings. I think Eminez might be scared away. Actually, he's going to just go in for the fight. The charge comes through. It'll be a 1v3, but has the ultimate from Ari, and Porp is much lower than he is. Eminez just does not care.
He's 2 items already, and so is Zamalek as well on the JDXL side, as Kryze is looking for the solo kill.
Kryze needs that gold to hit his second item as well, but we're going to move to mid lane where we're going to see Spike rooted up, taken out. Yebe won't be able to find the hook as JDXL are here to support. The tower will fall. And what does Singularity do? Because looking at the gold, very rough. Looking at the game state, very rough. Is what's the game, what should be the game plan? Can there be one?
I'm going to give you my favorite line, Will. I'm an analyst, not a miracle. It is looking
teleport behind. They're looking for the miracle. The ult over the wall is failed by Dan, who has to flash as Yebe caught out. But we're going to go for the ultimatum onto Kryze. But JDXL are there moving forward. And Camille actually has to disengage. The volley bear's going to get a little bit smaller. Looking towards Camille. Get the stun, get the damage. There's the kill as Singularity. They go for the play. They do manage to take out Kryze on the back. Porp securing the kill. However, I don't know if Porp's going to be able to get out of this one alive. Slowed, not stunned, but there it is as JDXL secure another Singularity routed once again.
Yeah, and let me test your League of Legends knowledge real quick. It looks like they're not going to do it. what spawns in 5 seconds?
What time is it?
It was 1950.
That is Baron buff.
Exactly. So I feel like XL, if they really felt like it, they could have even taken that one down. But yeah, this is, you know, Dan retreating a little bit slowly, but they just weren't able to make anything stick. SNG, they threw everything that they could at all of the members in front of them, and unfortunately they weren't able to take anyone down, with the exception of Porp, who does manage to find a flank on to Cries, but I mean, it's a 1-for-1. It was always going to be a 1-for-1 in most cases, unfortunately. And that is the case for his trade there. Not even a shutdown kill, which is kind of unfortunate when you look at it, because everybody else has a shutdown on them.
It's... Right, for Singularity,
yes.
We've been talking a little bit, and we talk behind the scenes as a talent team, occasionally, when they return my calls.
Yeah.
And people have been saying, look, Singularity, in games like this, they like seeing them go for off-the-wall stuff. They've been talking on social media about how they want to be playing stuff that's a little bit different, catching people off guard. Yeah. How much out of the box, because I know the desk talked about it, and we talked about it a little bit, as actually we have a bit of a fight, but
sure.
I think I've already seen this.
I don't know if this is
I think I might have seen this one as Yepe is going to be chased away, will go down, Porp is going to go the exact same way. I don't think Tattoo's going to be able to get involved, so I'll just continue my point.
Yeah.
As they're going to be able to take wolves. How off the wall, is this draft too off the wall, or is it on execution, do you think? As we're going to see potentially another fight, but again, I think we've seen this one before.
I think if you're talking about it in the context of competitive play,
yes,
the execution is definitely quite hard. At the end of the day, I feel like if you're talking about kind of a scale, as yes, we do realize XL are on the Baron, but realistically, who is going to stop them? The answer is, well, apparently Dragana and Tattoo are going to try and walk in, but let's see what they can actually make happen. Spirit Rush was used, first charge, second charge.
Going to be jumping in. Here's the fight as Eminence actually goes low, has to go golden, but it's going to come out to a completely different team state. The Silas is dead, which could be huge, but Spike is looking to try and get away, but so much damage is coming on through. The Gangplank's looking for one more shot, can't find it. Moving towards the Nautilus in that little corridor, and kills on the side as well. JDXL, it's a triple kill. Go over to Cries. He has a shutdown bounty now. And now they get to take themselves not only the Baron, but that top lane tower. And crucially, though, I don't know how crucially, with the game state as is,
okay,
Silas doesn't have the Baron buff.
Well, I'm going to give it to you straight.
You got to give me something,
I'm going to give it to you
on.
straight, man. I don't think it matters. Yeah, Eminez, of course, does eventually die. But the issue is, at 15k gold down, how much does it really matter? This Gangplank armor absolutely shreds through the attempted Baron stop or interruption from SNG, but yeah, SNG is just, there's not too much to talk about. They're too far behind to really contest this. Cries tears through the members in front of him, and SNG walk away with more than their tails between their legs, to be honest with you. As now they are going to be sieging into the mid lane. You've got Eminence on the bottom side to try and get a wave shoved down. And I just feel like SNG's time has more than passed. Trying to make something work here, unfortunately. Though, hey, they might be able to try and ruin some KDAs. Dan's still not died yet.
Let's change the narrative a little bit. Let's look at this from a different direction. So, Singularity are going to very much struggle to get into this one.
Okay.
You've got to imagine. With the game as is. Yeah. How did JDXL close out? They're moving towards this bot lane. They've already got this mid lane inhibitor.
I think we're seeing it on our screen. Just what they're doing right now, just moving lane to lane. They already had the bottom side cracked open. They can go towards the top side now. There's no wave. If they want to play it by the books, they can go to the top side, but it looks like a fight's just going to break out instead.
For the root, but gets caught up himself. Dan has the ult away and actually goes low. Will not lose his first step today as the rest of JDXL move forward and are taking Singularity to the clean. His damage coming through is so massive. JDXL still have all 5 members, and Cries is on a rampage, taking down everyone he sees. Dragane moving back to the fountain, doesn't want to ruin his own KDA any further, as Singularity will lose again. JDXL keep themselves at near the top of the table. They keep themselves in striking distance, keep themselves in the conversation for best team in the league. But Singularity, it was hard to master the competition, Dan. You playing with our emotions, but JDXL were not playing with their food as they secure themselves another win.
Yeah, and